Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet will change the way we play Pokémon by having 3 different story paths we can choose. The Champion Path, the Starfall Road, and the Path of Legends. Details about them are still a bit scarce, but their existence alone raises some questions. Hey, I'm Not So Ace Trainer, and what does that mean for the ending? Let's get into it. Pokémon has never been known by their games having different endings. You play through a preset storyline and reach a preset ending, one that is the only one in that specific game. Whatever you do during the gameplay will only change variables like your team and how strong it is, but the end game will always remain. In Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet we have the 3 paths that seem to be very distinct from each other. Things you learned on the Path of Legends will probably not be learned on the Champion Path. After all, there's a big difference between fighting gyms and searching for Herba Mystica while taking down titans. That's why I can't imagine this game having one set ending, one that you will experience regardless of your story choice. And that's where multiple endings come into play. But about this 3 story path thing, it was always a thing, wasn't it? We always had 3 paths. You battled the gyms in order to reach the Pokémon League and become the champion, and while you were doing that, you had to deal with some evil team or some type of disaster or event that was being caused by a legendary. You simply had no choice, you had to walk all the paths. And all of those specific stories had specific endings. You defeat the evil team leader on a huge battle in their base or atop some legendary spot. You learn all there is to learn about the legendary and catch it, and then you beat the Elite Four and the champion to take its place. 3 different endings, but only one true ending. This is what I believe will be the Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet approach. Yes, you have freedom of choice, but just by looking at the map, we can see that the paths cross multiple times, with instances where a strange tower is very close to a gym, or you have to pass through a Team Star base in order to reach it. So yeah, I believe we'll have multiple endings, once for each story path, but given that they cross on multiple occasions, I think they will combine into a bigger ending, one true ending that explains what's happening in the Paldea region or with the terrestrial phenomenon. A good place to look at a version of this is Pokémon Legends Arceus. While not exactly the same, you do have 3 different endings in that game, and they are more noticeable since you know from the start what your goal is. You have to meet Arceus. For example, one could say that we have more than one ending in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon with the Xenia storyline or the Rainbow Rocket storyline, but those are added at the end after the credits. In Pokémon Legends Arceus, even when the credits roll, you know that you haven't yet met your goal. You save history from Origin Palkia or Origin Dialga, then from Volo and Giratina, and only then are you able to complete the first quest you got of seeking out all Pokémon. The others end specific storylines. You could argue that the Champion Path would be the Nobles and the battle against the Origin God of Time or Space. The Evil Team Path would be the battle against Volo, and the one that deals with Legends would be the end goal of meeting Arceus, for example. This freedom of choice with different paths with multiple endings also raises an issue that I believe will be the biggest gripe people have with these games. If the gyms don't scale, will the rest? I've talked about this before in the video, but the wording on the official website makes it seem like the gyms won't scale. There will be stronger gyms and weaker gyms, probably measured by the level of their Pokémon. Does this mean that nothing will scale? You finished the Path of Legends, battled every Titan and discovered all the Herba Mystica there is to discover. You are now a certified Lore Keeper of Paldea. If you decide to then battle through the Starfall Road to get a different ending, will that mean that everything will be just very weak when compared to you? More lore is always a good incentive to go through a different path, but like I said before, it would be a mistake on their part to not have things scale. And there you go, I believe there will be multiple endings in Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet that combine into a true ending that actually explains whatever is happening in Paldea. But what about you? How do you feel about multiple endings? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokémon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. You can follow me on social media and Twitch, I stream there Wednesday to Sunday, not Saturday, or join our Discord. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.